Mudslinging so early. What's recording? Yay! The vapors. Oh, look at all the smoke. Smoke bomb! Cut. Do it again. Okay. She didn't know Dad like I did. That's why.
God, I wish I had a real name.
Two, I have one hell of a set of balls on me. And welcome back again. This time, I'm going to go ahead and take some time to talk about certain psychic abilities and ways that we can enhance or protect ourselves from different things. Those who have some sort of psychic ability are often more prone to different spirits and negativity and stuff. So it's a really important idea that we go ahead and protect ourselves while we're doing all that. The number one, in my experience, the number one common psychic ability is empathy. Empathy is like being an empath. Empath means empathy, so that's exactly what it means. You are able to feel somebody else's emotions. Now, people who are empathic often get confused for being bipolar, schizophrenic, things like this, because some schizophrenia. There is such thing as actual schizophrenia. I'm not saying it's every single time, but sometimes you have people who are communicating to spirit guides or angels or even other spirits, and they don't realize what's going on, and so then they think that they've gone crazy. And so for that, there's different ways that different spirits choose to communicate with us. But empathy is by far the most common one. And people who are empathic typically don't like crowds. They don't like going places where they know that they're going to be in one spot for a long period of time without knowing when they're going to be moving around again. And the reason for this is because they read people's emotions. So going to a crowded place and walking through a crowd full of people is not good for them, because at the end of it, they don't know their own emotions from everybody else's. And so by the end of walking through a crowd, they think that there's something totally wrong with them because they just went through 27 different emotions all in the span of 10 minutes of walking through this crowd. And so that's another reason as to why they don't like crowds. And so one way to protect yourself from having that experience is to carry around one of the number one stones that helps with this is carry around a piece of green obsidian. Now, I actually don't have a piece. That's like the one thing in my collection of crystals that I don't have, is I don't have a piece of green obsidian on me because I gave it to one of my clients. But green obsidian allows you to shield yourself, so that way you aren't just randomly feeling people's emotions as you walk by. You are able to pick and choose who it is that you want to read or who it is you want to experience. When it comes to being empathic, you don't just read a person, you literally experience them. And so that's why we like to say things like experience, because we don't want to confuse what it is you'll be going after. If you are empathic and you're working on reading people, remember, you're not just wanting to read them, you're actually going to experience them. So proceed with caution. And so when you get your piece of green obsidian, you can keep it in your pocket, keep it in your bra, put it on a necklace, chain, ring, whatever. I've got one client who can't wear any jewelry or anything at work, so she has a hair barrette that's made of it, and so she wears that at work, and it helps her a lot. A few other things that can help. If you're having issues with your third eye is where all your psychic abilities come in through, and it helps you communicate to the divine. You can have a piece of, hold on, I got this cute itty bitty little container here. My friend's daughter bought me for Christmas, and I shoved all my tiny little crystals in it. Ah, there we go. Okay. So this here is an amethyst point. I'm sure you all saw that coming a mile away. But an amethyst point, you can, if you sleep with it next to your bed, it helps protect you from having nightmares. People with psychic abilities sometimes will suffer what we call psychic nightmares and nightmares. Anyway, they will suffer from psychic nightmares, which is where it's almost like your ability is fighting against you. So you'll have really weird dreams where, say you get angry and all of a sudden everything blows up. And also then you start feeling really compelled to not want to express yourself and not wanting to be around people because all these horrible things are happening to your loved ones and your friends. And it's because you have abilities that are trying to let you know, hey, you don't need to worry about things like this. Let us help you. Let us work with you. I know when I first started coming into my abilities, I kept having dreams of my family just being murdered in front of me, or just not showing up, or being abandoned, things like that. But when I got my piece of amethyst, I sat it next to my bed on my little nightstand, and then they started being fewer and fewer and fewer, and finally they just went away. It also helps open up your third eye. When working with your third eye, sometimes you may experience a third eye headache. The quickest way to get rid of a third eye headache is to eat a piece of dark chocolate. The darker, the better, and it'll get rid of that third eye headache like right away. Another stone that you can use to help with psychic ability is this one right here, and this is labradorite. This is a nice cut little piece of, oh, there we go, little piece of labradorite, nice and shiny. And labradorite also helps with your psychic abilities and helps open it up. I find this really works well with the throat chakra as well. I know a lot of people that will carry a piece of labradorite with them so that they're constantly speaking their personal truth. That's what your throat chakra does, and what it helps you with is speaking your personal truth. And it's very important that we speak our personal truth and not hold back, because when we do that, we end up risking ourselves blowing up at a very inopportune time. And that's just not fun at all. It doesn't matter who you are, and it doesn't matter how psychic you are, you might not see that coming. Um, oh, this I actually didn't even mean to bring out here, and I totally did. This little number is super cute. This is red coral. So red coral is really awesome. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if you can buy it as often now. I think it's actually just been listed as a oh, what do you call it? An endangered species, but I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that because I don't know for sure. However, any type of coral will also help. It doesn't have to be red coral, but any type of coral can help. It actually helps you with your bone structure. So if you have osteoporosis or a calcium deficiency, something like that, you carry a nice piece of red coral with you, and it helps sturdy and structure your skeleton. So you can imagine as to why I have this with me all the time. And one of my favorite stones. Oh, I actually have it right here on my necklace. Oh, see if we can get close. Boom, that right there. That is moonstone. Now, moonstone is very interesting. So, as you are developing into your abilities and becoming more comfortable with your psychic self, remember that those of you who contain magical abilities, which is something a little different, you get what they call like a magic aura, and it's able to be seen by other magical beings that might not mean well for you. If you simply have psychic abilities but not magical abilities, as in not being able to cast magic or anything, you do end up getting what they call a slight beacon in your aura. So your aura like goes around the soul, and you have this little beacon that shows. And the thing is when the beacon shows, dead people can see you. They can totally tell a mile away that you'll be able to see them. And so if you're coming into your psychic abilities and you're starting to notice that there are spirits walking around at night outside your home, or possibly passing into your home, it can be quite scary. I've had that happen a few times where I wake up, and the messed up thing is pretty much whatever condition they were in when they died, sometimes they still appear that way. So first time I had this headless woman come and see me, it was just very startling. But thank God for the both of us. She had a huge racker. I wouldn't have been able to figure out if she was a he or she or anything like that. So luckily for me, she was still in her jogging suit. But I was able to help her. But backing up here to the point of the story is that if you are one of those people who's in mediumship, you definitely want to be able to ward your place. And you can do a thin line of kosher salt. It has to be kosher, so it has to have a little Star of David on it. Thin line of kosher salt outside every door that leads to the outside will help from the spirits being able to get in, and keep negative spirits out and keep positive spirits in, and just make that your intention when you lay them out. The magical ability one that I was talking about earlier, that's where the moonstone comes in. So if you are a magical being and possess the ability for magic, um, other beings that may not mean you well will be able to sense that. And so Moonstone helps shield you from that. And it basically turns your magic aura invisible to all others. That way, nobody else can um, recognize what it is that you are and try to use your abilities against you, because I've had that happen before. It's also seen by psychic vampires. Psychic vampires can zap the energy right out of you if you're not careful. Sometimes they do it by boring you to death, or the ones that I absolutely hate the most are the ones that poke and poke and poke and poke and poke until you pop, and then all of a sudden, you're the asshole because you freaked out because they freaked out first. And that's not a situation you want to get into. If you are susceptible, like say you have an idea that somebody that you're really close to is a psychic vampire, what you can use to help protect yourself is a piece of black tourmaline. I have a piece of green tourmaline here, but black tourmaline looks just like this, only it's more black than green. That's really protective against psychic vampires. And then also this here is Tiger's Eye. Tiger's Eye is very protective. It also gives you strength. It also invokes the Archangel Gabriel. And so if you think that you're working with somebody who is a psychic vampire, this will give you strength to get up and go deal with it. And then this will make it so that you're shielding yourself so they can't zap your energy. So I have a lot of requests for my personal, what it is that I do to protect my home, because I use a foolproof system of different types of salts, different types of boundaries, sigils, and then certain spirits to protect everything, to protect my whole entire home. And so in another video, I will be putting up later on how to make your own homemade brick dust and make it your own to where you actually bind it with yourself. And it can ward everybody and protect you and your loved ones from anything and everything, and also other people. Another video I will be showing in the future is how to make the angelic sigils that you can put up to invoke the archangels to be with you. So that way your home is protected on all levels. So thank you so much for watching this one. I'm going to go take a break, take a little smoke break, and then I will catch you guys next time. So thank you very much. Mwah.